This looks good.
It looks good. I like it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, Soul Seekers. I am one of your soul guides, Patricia Rivera-Wolfson.
Hello, I am Linda Krause Barnett. Welcome back and welcome to Monday again. Mondays seem fun when we do this.
It's true, and I'm feeling a little rusty this morning because we missed last week.
I'm feeling awake.
You're feeling awake? That's good. So last week was a week off of school, and I went home to Toronto to visit my parents, so we were off the show. But we are back and ready for action this week. And we have a very interesting topic today, which is the threat of success. Linda, do you want to start? And
I do.
Where did it came from?
Yeah, it came from Trish and I having a conversation because recently, like very recently, I have been noticing that everyone that seems to be coming into my vortex or in my vortex is doing things that are very closely related to what I'm doing. So either they're writing a book on the same topic as mine, or they're coaching, or they're motivating, or they're doing something that feels very closely aligned to the message I put out into the world. And so when I kind of brought it up to Trisha, I was like, what is going on? What is this lesson here? Because it's got to be a lesson. It's happening so much, so close to me that I know there's a message in it, and I just couldn't kind of decipher what it was. And so it then led us into the conversation about looking at the evidence as either competition or confirmation, right? And how do you perceive it when success is happening around you, especially when the success is on a closely aligned message to yours? So it's not just like, a stockbroker making a ton of money, but it's someone who's putting out the content into the world that's very similar to yours. And how does that get looked at as proof that you are on the right track versus, oh shit, there's not enough to go around and it's a threat, and you kind of shrink and say, well, they're doing it, so why should I? And it kind of makes you want to stop.
Yes, and it shouldn't. Not that there's shoulds. We should not
stop shitting on yourself.
We should not shit ourselves. But our conversation started that way, and it really it became really clear to me that what it is evidence. As you move closer and closer to expanding. And when you are more and more aligned with your vision, whatever that vision may be in your life, then you are automatically going to be in the vortex of that vision, which means you're going to start seeing people talk about the same things that you're talking about because you're vibrationally aligned with those people. All of a sudden, maybe people come out of the woodwork, people from your past who are succeeding in ways that you're like working towards. And it can be really discouraging where you're like, oh my God, like, that person wasn't doing anything of this, and now they're doing it, and they're doing it better than me. And it's really hard for us to keep ourselves in check and not look at that as threatening. It's and I say that from personal experience too, where I see it around me and I'm like, are you kidding? Like, they're doing the same thing as me, and it feels threatening because we live in a society of lack where people feel like our resources there's not enough resources to go around. There's not enough money to go around. There's not enough anything to go around. Even our self-esteem, there's not enough self-confidence to go around because we're constantly living in a state of not enoughness. We're not safe enough. You don't look good enough. There's not enough money. There's not enough success to go around. So you feel threatened, and that ego inside starts to go, if they get to your people before you do, then you've lost your client forever. Hi, Kimberly. Yes, right? It's really hard for us to look at those people around us and the people who are entering our vortex or our energetic circle and see their success as proof of what can be done. I mean, if you look at in terms of business, and I just had this conversation with my brother, If you have a coffee shop like a Starbucks opening up, chances are across the street they're going to open up a different coffee shop because the businesses thrive together. That sort of, in that sense, it's competition, but it's like, oh, if there's a Starbucks, then chances are there's a Dunkin' Donuts close by as well, because they appeal to different people, right? Some people love Starbucks.
Yeah.
And some people are like, no, I'm
Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
Right?
And it goes back to something I said live earlier. It's making me think it's so funny too, because in certain, I think it's very specific to the personal development and when your message is a personal one. Mm-hmm. Because when I was teaching, if a teacher got hired, I wasn't threatened by that. I wasn't like, oh no, there's another teacher. I guess I might not. Now what am I going to do?
Right.
Because you knew you had your assigned students, right? You were going to have your class regardless of how many teachers were in the school. And so I think when your message is open to the public and when it's very personal, you take it personally, right? I want to be the one to deliver this. I want to be the one to tell people that anything is possible and that all their dreams can come true. I want to change lives, but just like in teaching, you have a connection. You and I are connected in a way that I don't connect with every woman that I meet. It's specific to you and me. And it's a connection that could only have been made with you. This show could have only been done by the two of us. No matter how many soul seekers there are, the show had to be us. And I think that, I don't know why, in some situations it's so clear of an idea, and then in other situations where maybe it's a lack of confidence to what you're doing. If it's something new, I know for me, I'm doing a lot of new things, especially like with the book writing. I've never written a book before. So if there's any other book that talks about the same topic, I discredit myself. Sure. But none of the other books were delivered by me. So none of the other books have what I'm offering. And I think that that's just worth a reminder, because even it's like some simple things we know, but we can't apply it. We forget to apply it.
I think so. And, I do think that there's something to be said with your confidence in it, because when you're super confident, then you're like, yeah, that there's more than enough for everyone. People who are comfortable financially are not worried about somebody else, achieving financial success, because they're like, I'm comfortable in where I am. So, oh man, you bought a yacht? Super cool. I got one too. Yay. As opposed to if you're.
Is that the kind of conversations rich people have?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming. But it's almost like talking to somebody. And if you've never been on vacation, let's say you've never been on vacation because you haven't been able to make it work, you can't take the time off work, or financially it's not something that's possible, and you hear someone else talking about vacations, you might be like, well, they take all these vacations, and it's like, well, you're fancy, or whatever it is that someone may feel when they feel like, I can't take a vacation, and you may feel bad because these people around you are taking vacations. But I think in an example like that, you have to look at that and be like, how were they able to make a vacation work for them? Like, how can I work towards taking a vacation? If that's just a simple example, like maybe your vacation isn't to Bali, but maybe your vacation is driving up to Niagara Falls, and it's really all about perspective. You may not have or be able to do what you see somebody else do yet, but the real key is, how can I embrace where I am right now and create that feeling right now? So it's like, okay, so I can't fly to Hawaii. Like, so-and-so is going to Hawaii, so-and-so is going to Cancun, and so-and-so is going to wherever, and you're not going anywhere. It's like, well, how can I take a vacation for myself and my family and do it in a way that's possible? So I have Blue here staring at me right now. What is up?
He's like, I want my time in the limelight too,
All right, let's see if I hold him, if he'll be less cranky. So you need to try and create the vacation that is possible within your means right now, and really truly embrace that vacation or whatever it is. And we've talked about that even in terms of money. Like maybe you don't have a ton of money coming in, but how can you embrace what you have? It's like, well, I don't have a ton of money for vacation, but man, I paid all my bills this month and that was awesome. It felt really good to be able to pay my, heating bill. It felt really good to pay my mortgage this week. Like,
yep. And I think also, when it goes back a little bit to what the experiments we did with Pam Grout and the E squared, because if you think about it, right, the premise of that was that if it's in your mind, if it's in your thoughts, then you see it in your reality. We're just projecting, which means that if that holds true, if I'm really going to stick to that belief, then the belief is that as I'm thinking about my own success in the ways in which I want to succeed, then my reality projects others who are succeeding in the same way. So it would make perfect sense that I would begin to want to write a book or do motivational speaking. And then those are the people that kind of are surrounding me, right? Because I'm creating that reality. That's what I'm projecting. Yes. And it's so funny because, when I say it like that, I'm like, yes, it makes sense. It sits in my heart, but when you've been chasing a dream for so long and you start getting closer to it, it's like being really hungry and there's that last little morsel of food and you're just like, can I get to it before anybody else touches it? Because I want it to be mine.
Yeah.
And you don't see that like just to the right is a buffet because you're staring at that morsel,
That's
it. You would just be like, trust that you'll get it. You would have enough perspective and openness to turn around and see this like feast. And so I sometimes need to stop looking at it as a morsel and remember that like there will be another bite behind that, and that I am just seeing what I am projecting, which is good because it helps me understand that my thoughts are aligned to what I want. If that's what I'm seeing, then that's what I'm thinking about. And so that's a really good thing.
Yes, it means you're getting closer.
It means you're getting closer.
And inevitably, the closer you get, all those wounds start to come up, right? The closer you get to something, the closer you get to that next level that you're trying to reach, you're going to have those old wounds come up. And so when you face the things that, are in your new perspective now, it is an opportunity for you to heal those wounds, to look at that as evidence and say, okay, I'm feeling this because I want it. And now I am much closer to having it than I ever was before. So right. I'm not going to feel like this is maybe up until now, this has been like just someone rubbing it in my face, because it feels like that, right? You see somebody doing what you want and you're like, oh, they're just rubbing it in my face. And whether or not they are rubbing it in your face, it feels like that energetically, like someone's just like they're all up in my business. I see them on my feed every 25 seconds. Like, why? Why do I have to keep seeing it? And it is in order for you to heal that wound so that you are no longer off-put by other people's success, so that you may then embrace your own. Because if you're looking at somebody else's success and going, well, it must be nice to have a silver spoon, or whatever excuse you believe gave them an upper hand on their success, then you are separating yourself energetically from that person, and you are not allowing yourself to step into your own success, because you have deemed the success as only available under certain circumstances, or only available to certain people. But if you look at that success and say, hey, well, she can do it or he can do it, that just means that I can do it too. And then, you're opening yourself up to moving forward towards your success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our little chit chat for today.
And hopefully you're seeing the threats all around you, because that means you are heading in the right direction. So
absolutely.
Threats are a win.
Threats are a win. Threats are evidence of success.
Yes. So keep it up.
Please make sure that you, every time you see it, be like, evidence. Just point to it and be like, that's evidence that it's coming to me.
We are finally done with season 1 of Soul Seekers TV. And if you've missed any episodes, we definitely go to YouTube, go to Soul Seekers TV and check it out, because there is a wealth of information and a wealth of fun and laughter that you definitely don't want to miss.
Yeah, make sure you go there, you subscribe, and there's plenty more videos to come. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.